Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Impro Technologies Primo Software launch. We'll give a minute or two for everyone to log on. Morning, everyone. Welcome to the Impro Technologies Primo Software launch. We'll give one more minute for everyone to log on. Right. Hello, and a very warm welcome to everyone. We thank you all for joining us. We are all excited and are ready to unveil the latest update of Impro Technologies Primo 1.2 version, which brings a host of new features and improvements. Before we get into it, I would like to go through some of our housekeeping rules to ensure that everything goes smoothly. Please note that all our webinars are recorded and made available after the event. We have disabled microphones for the webinar to mitigate any background noise. Any questions can be typed into the question panel at any point during the webinar. We will answer as many questions as we possibly can in the Q&A session at the end. Should we not get the opportunity to do so, we will get back to individuals. We will have some polls running during the course of the webinar. We kindly ask for your participation. You will also receive an automated message tomorrow to thank you for attending the event. Should you have any queries after this event, please feel free to reach out to us on email, info@impro.net. And of course, I am not alone. I will be joined by my awesome colleagues from Impro, HID Global, IDEMIA, Iteco Global, and of course, Impro Technologies, who will be sharing some of their expertise on the experience that they've had with the Primo software. So without any further ado, let's dive into today's presentation and see what Primo 1.2 has in store for us. Over to you, Hamish.
Many thanks, Nanku, and a good morning and a warm welcome to all of you. Just a reminder that we're going to do some polls, and you can access the Q&A at the top of your screen. There's a little Q&A button to work with. Okay, so for those of you who may be joining us for the first time, I first want to just run through a recap of Primo before we look at the features in the latest release. So Primo was actually launched in July last year, and that makes Primo version 1.2 the third feature release of Primo in under a year. And you may be wondering why we're investing so heavily in Primo. We've built Primo on the latest tools and technologies available, and this gives Primo a powerful, modern architecture that allows us to do a number of things that we otherwise couldn't. So firstly, we're able to implement the latest security features to keep your data safe. Then we are also able to truly decouple the front and back end softwares. And what this does is it facilitates rapid development, allowing us to deliver better features faster. And it also gives us flexibility, allowing Primo front end to be plumbed into on-premise server or cloud-based technologies. But probably the biggest benefit of what is possible is what is possible now on the user interface. So the user experience has been a key focus for Primo. In fact, we spent probably more than 12 months in workshops on UX design, using prototyping tools before we started writing the first line of code. And then every feature that we've added subsequently has been carefully refined to ensure that it follows the simple, established patterns that make Primo so intuitive, familiar, and easy to use. So let's take a closer look at how we get this right. So a core element of a good user interface is that regardless of what the user is doing in the software, they always have context. You find often with powerful software that the user interface becomes convoluted, and it's quite easy to get lost and to forget where you came from. But in the Primo software, we've given careful consideration to this point, and it has yielded a simple, effective navigation where the user never loses context. Then every section in the software opens to a list view, presenting as much information on the chosen section as possible. So wherever you click on the the tree structure on the left-hand side, any one of those things, if you click on it, it will open first to a list view. So this is by design. We want to show as much relevant information as possible and let the user drill down to their area of interest from there. All the list views work in the same way and support the same functions. So these include the search field, column filtering on any applicable columns, column sort, so being able to go A to Z, Z to A, column selection and ordering, so what columns to show in the report and in what order should they be showing, pagination, selecting the number of records to show, and finally, export to PDF or Excel formats. So with all of these controls, these list views are essentially a ready-made set of reports. And as I said earlier, they are everywhere throughout the software. Then we have applied well-established modern screen layouts and icons to deliver a familiar user experience. Care has been taken to ensure a predictable pattern to the features and views, so each view works the same way throughout the software. And what this does is it helps to train the user as they use the software on what to expect, and it reduces the time taken to get familiar with its ins and outs. In fact, there are only 3 views to get familiar with in Primo. You've got the list view on the top right, the details view in the middle, and the wizard view here at the bottom. So once you have got used to these 3 views, you can really do any configuration you need to in Primo. Then we've made use of wizards quite extensively. And what we like about wizards is that they guide users through what would otherwise be complex workflows with simple logical steps where the user is presented with one decision to make at a time. And it just simplifies the process so you just can't get it wrong. Then at the end of the wizard, you'll see, as we have on screen here, the summary, which shows you all the choices that you have made throughout the wizard. So, and you also have the back button, which allows you to revisit any of the selections you've made and make changes as necessary. Then all of the hardware configuration, whether it's controllers, I/O modules, or third-party biometric readers, it's all done in one place, here in the hardware menu in the web client. So this includes discovery, installation, configuration, licensing, uploads. All of it happens here. There's no need to open any other files or applications when setting up the system. We've also given careful thought to the balance of presenting as much relevant information as possible without overwhelming the user. And this has led to views that are clean and clutter-free. And we've also worked on reducing the number of clicks required to complete an operation to as few as possible, while retaining the simplicity that comes from identifying each logical step. And then finally, we have contextual help, which is available on all views. So you can leave it open if you want to as you click around. And then once you're more familiar with the software, you can collapse it and then only open it on the screens where you need some guidance. The structure is typically, you'll have a heading, you'll have a description of the feature. Under that, you'll have a reason for the feature. What is it used for typically? And then under that, you'll have some notes just to be aware of, and then a step-by-step procedure on how to implement it. So with the contextual help, you've got relevant knowledge at your fingertips when you need it. So these are the guiding principles that we have used to develop the software to achieve that premium user experience that we feel makes even the more advanced features, the more powerful features, accessible to the whole installer market. So you'll see all of these user interface elements that I've mentioned in action in the videos that we have dotted through the presentation as we go. And that is a brief recap on the whys and whats of Primo, but now we can go into the new features on version 1.2, starting with scheduled reports. So an access control system is constantly collecting data that can be used to improve the day-to-day running of a business or institution. And then this data is collated into useful formats with the use of reports. But with the scheduled reporting feature, you don't have to go searching for this data. You can have it come to you. You can set up a schedule to have your choice of reports sent to you and any other relevant recipients when you need it. For example, an hours worked report is sent to HR at 3 p.m. every Friday, every week, every Friday. And you could copy that to the accounts department for payroll. The beauty is that you set it up once, and then the report is sent to the right people at the chosen frequency indefinitely, if that's your choice. Or you can set a finite time for which the scheduled report will run. It's very easy to set up the schedule reporting feature. We use a wizard configuration, so you can identify the report that needs to be sent out, the recipients that it needs to go to, and the message that needs to go with it. The schedule reporting feature makes use of an email account to send reports from. So you can set this email account up once, and then all notifications can use that same account thereafter. But you're not restricted to one account in case you have need of multiple. There's also no restriction to the number of recipients that you can send the reports to. So let's see this feature applied in the video that follows.
Good day. Today I will showcase scheduled reports within the Primo software. Also take a look at a scenario that might be particularly useful for someone in HR. What we will set up is an absenteeism report. This report will get sent out at 9 o'clock each weekday morning so that this may be monitored by HR to see who has or who has not logged into the site. So in other words, it will show us a list of persons that are absent at 9 a.m. To start setting this up, first need to ensure that we have a system account set up to send email. As you can see, we have got one set up here already. Next, we will set up the scheduled report. This is under notification. Once we're in notifications, we'll add new. Here we can select the notification type. As before, this will be a scheduled report. We will then provide the scheduled report with appropriate name. Next, we will then select the report that we'd like to send. In this case, we would like to send an absenteeism report for today. Note that any reports that you may have created will also be shown and be available to send as a scheduled report. We will now select the main primary recipient for this email scheduled. We will select HR in this case, since they are the persons that would like to monitor the absenteeism type. We can then also copy in the next person who might be a manager. Then we will set up the schedule. In this case, we will then send this report at 9 a.m. every morning. So what will happen is, at the time of this report's generation, show us anybody that has not logged into site and also the persons that are absented from the site at 9 a.m. We can also select the time zone if appropriate. So we will then select the reoccurrence pattern. In this case, every weekday, on a daily basis. We can then also select the start and end date for the scheduled report to take place. Next, we will then set up the template, or rather the message body. First, we'll select the account from where this gets sent from. Then we will provide an email subject. And then we can also provide a message in our email body. You can also add your own disclaimer if you like. Once this is done, we will then see a summary of this report created. You can at any time go back and change this if required. Once this has been confirmed, it will save this report. Note that we can also open the report after it's been saved and change any details you might like to. You can also disable or enable this report. This report will then show up every morning at 9 a.m. and the person receiving will receive a PDF as such that will show everybody that's been absent at the creation time of this. Thank you very much.
So along the same vein is the event-based notifications feature. So an important aspect of an access control system is to identify and allow rapid response to emergency situations. Primo's new event-based notifications gives the ability to respond to emergencies rapidly and to coordinate the response appropriately. Notifications can be configured on any reported event in Primo. Whatever event, you can set a notification on it. It's set up using a convenient wizard, which allows selection of who should receive the notification, who should be on copy, and then you can set the summary and the detail of the message, which allows clear communication to the notified parties. So the next video demonstrates the event-based notifications in operation.
Now we will look at event-based notification. Event-based notifications can be very useful in different scenarios. In this case, we'll set up an event-based notification for emergency mode. In other words, whenever emergency mode is triggered across the site, we will get a notification. This will get sent to the appropriate recipient. This may be a site manager, emergency services, HR, anybody that needs to know this. To set this up, as before, you need to ensure that the system has an email account already set up so it can send email. Furthermore, some events may require some further setup. In this case, we already have an emergency input setup for our reader. Other events on the system may require the same. To set up the notifications, we will then go to notification, click add, and select event-based notification. We'll then provide a name for the event notification so we can see which notification this is. We will then select the event. The system can have hundreds of events. However, you can easily search for the event that we require from the search bar. In this case, we'd like to know when emergency mode is on. We will then add a filter. You can filter it down to the device or door, but in this case, we would like to know if the input has been enabled, triggered anywhere on the site. Select our site, also selecting the recipient. In this case, the main recipients may be the site safety officer or maybe emergency services. And then also select to copy in any managers or HR or whoever else needs to know this information ever the emergency mode is triggered. Next, we will set up our email template. First, set up the outgoing account. We'll then provide a subject line. So enter body of the message sent. Next, we will see the summary. As always, you can always go back if you need to change any of these options selected or set up. Once you click on confirm, the emergency mode event will show here. You can always open it once again, and as before, change any of the details you may need to, enable or disable this. Thank you very much.
All right, so in an access control system, there are several cases where you need to do the same configuration over and over and over. So an example of this might be adding tag holders to a department or to an access group. This many-to-one configuration results in it's laborious, it's time-consuming, and there's a high risk of making mistakes. With the mass assignment feature, it neatly resolves this problem by turning the focus point around. So configuration is done using a one-to-many relationship instead of that many-to-one relationship. And the result is quick and error-free. So I've got another video which will show you the mass assignment in operation.
In this video, I will demonstrate mass assignments. An example use case for this feature is to assign an access group to multiple students. Students from the Accounting Sciences program have to complete an online exam, but in their building, there isn't a venue with laptops or PCs to complete the online exam. Therefore, we have to give them access to a venue in the IT building just for the day in order to complete the exam. You will navigate to Access Groups, select the IT Building Exam Venue Access Group, and click on Members. Then click on Manage. And now you can filter on all the students from the Faculty of Economic and Management Services. Then you will select all the students and click on Submit. So to double check, when we navigate to all enrollments, and again we filter on the Faculty of Economic and Management Sciences, you will see that the IT building venue was assigned. Then after the exam, we want to unassign the access group. Navigate to Access Groups, select the IT building exam venue, click on Members, click on Manage. Again, you can filter on the department and deselect and click on Submit. You can also assign departments in bulk. So you will select the department, you will click on Manage, and then stakeholders that should be assigned to this department. In this,
Okay, so part of our user experience initiative is about how we present the data in the system. So the next two features change the lens through which the system data is viewed. So instead of that broad view, we now have a view specific to a particular credential holder. Take this transaction tab, for instance. So we've introduced this within the within the credential holder view that allows you to conveniently dig into the transaction history of this particular credential holder. And you don't have to go to the report section, draw a transaction report, filter it accordingly, etc. And so in this way, you can quickly examine the access transactions of this person of interest. And it's really useful, for instance, if you want to locate somebody, you can go into their transaction tab and see where they last badged and find them that way. It's also really useful to resolve access denials that the credential holder may report. You know, perhaps they are battling with anti-passback or something, and you can pick that up from the transaction history that you have stored here. And then you may just want to examine entry and exit times for this credential holder. So again, I've got a video which shows the convenience of this feature.
in this video, I will demonstrate what the Transactions tab on the Credential Holder view can be used for. A service provider is busy with an Impro installation on site, and the facilities manager wants to know where they are currently working. From the transactions listed below, he can't make out in which building they are currently working, so he can add a column. If he's not sure in which building this reader is installed, he can add a column for the building. If he's not sure if this was the latest transaction from the installer, he can click on refresh. And from here we can see that they're currently working in the library building.
Okay, in the same vein is the auditing. So alongside the transactions tab in this credential holder view, we have an audit tab. And this gives an audit history for this particular credential holder that you're viewing. So you can see the date and time that a change was made, a configuration change was made. You can see the operator who made the change, and you can also see the effect of the change. So what the configuration was before and then after the change. Again, really useful to resolve issues related to a particular credential holder. Another video follows, and in this you'll see the audit tab in operation.
In this video, I will demonstrate what the audit tab on the credential holder view can be used for. A student, Tracy, had access to the library this morning and had to leave to attend class. In the afternoon, Tracy wants to continue with her research in the library, but now she is denied access. Here Tracy had access, but now she is denied access. She goes to the Student Center manager to find out why her access to the library was revoked. The Student Center manager will click on Enrollments and can add a filter on Tracy's name. Click on the Audit tab, and this will give us a list of all the tasks performed on Tracy's record. The manager discovers that one of the enrollment operators removed Tracy's library access by mistake. To rectify this, we'll click on Access and on Manage, and then add the library access again. And Tracy should now get access to the library again.
All right, so that concludes the Primo version 1.2 features that I wanted to share with you today, but it doesn't end there.
In this,
We've got a number of integration partners on the panel with us today, starting with Fraser Matchett. Fraser is a managing director at Impro Technologies. Fraser's team have recently completed an integration involving Primo Software, Control ID biometric readers, and Impro's own visitor management solution. So this combination is in operation on site. Fraser will take us through the combined solution. Fraser, welcome, and over to you.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being here. So what is cloud control? Cloud control is Impro Technologies' customized IoT solution that's purpose is to control the movements of people and their respective visitors within an establishment and so much more. We can define rules to assist site administration control to report on people's movements within a site and is completely geared for a direct integration into Primo. We've successfully deployed a platform that can comfortably do two-way communication with the Primo platform as well as other third-party systems safely, all following the full POPI compliance that we have in South Africa. It's a massive data handler, allowing administrators a very deep, complex dive into investigative data should the situation call for it. With data, you can do so much more. Thanks, Hamish. So what makes it special? So for this presentation, well, I'll just focus on what I believe to be pretty cool, the facial integration into Primo and how it helps site administrators in their relevant enrollment processes. In short, each credential holder is loaded into Primo, and once the user is in Primo, we allow access to the Cloud Control app if you have the correct user permissions. We have a lovely mobile app available on 3 major app stores. On this screen, we have a little screenshot example of the enrollment menu within the app. This screen prompts the user on the process on how to capture an enrollment successfully. We want to make sure that the guys have their eyes in view, we have the ears available, we have no hats on, we have no glasses on, and just sort of home affairs kind of vibes to make sure that the image is captured correctly. We then take this image and we push it into the existing tag or the Primo, into the existing Primo profile. We work out the relevant format for the destination hardware. We currently support image uploads to IDEMIA's Vision Pass, Control ID's ID Face, and a couple more. Thanks, James. So what else can we do with cloud control? In this slide, we'll see a little side-by-side comparison of my current image against my South African Home Affairs image. So we pull the image from the South African Home Affairs, and we take the image that was captured previously, and we compare them side by side. We then add a confidence rating to ensure that the person and the images are similar, and this helps try to reduce fraud by loading Jack's profile onto John's profile. We don't want that. On any relevant transaction, we can also set up push notifications to our app. We make sure that we connect to the system with security in mind. We ensure that the connection between the system is secure and encrypted. We can link employees to visitors. Additionally, we can assign any particular access group to the visitor to ensure that the visitors are not wandering around places that they shouldn't be. Cloud Control has a great communication platform. We can either email, SMS, or send push notifications to users within the app. We have a lot more, but I thought these were the cool ones. Thanks very much.
Many thanks, Fraser. It's exciting to see integrations written by our partners working so well on Primo. So our next presenter is Linda Gleeman, and she's a business development manager at HRD Global. Linda will be taking you through HRD's mobile access offering that is and has been integrated in Primo since day one. Welcome, Linda. The floor is yours.
And thank you, Hamish, for giving HRD the opportunity to talk about mobile access. So let's start off with a little bit of background. What's actually driving the growth of mobile access? When we look at Omdia's 5-year forecast, it predicts a compound annual growth rate of 45.8% per annum. The verticals where we are seeing significant growth in the use of mobile access is in higher education, the financial sector, and commercial real estate. From a sustainability point, there are also numerous benefits of using mobile access. Our Signo range of readers has an intelligent power mode setting, which reduces building energy consumption. I think it's also important to note that the Signo range of readers have the green circle certified stamp of approval. Then, of course, a definite contributing factor is the reduction or no PVC, therefore reducing our carbon footprint. Plastic cards have, if we look at the footprint, of up to 100 grams CO2 equivalent each. So I really think it's time to get rid of PVC cards. Then we've got HID Mobile Access, which is an accredited wired score solution. What does that do? That demonstrates to commercial real estate clients that HID's products and solutions can help them implement future-ready smart buildings. Furthermore, the accreditation can help these clients in achieving their own Smart Score certification. We can add 25 points to their scorecard when using HID readers in low power mode, mobile access, and OSDP wiring. Then we've got our Gen Zs and the generations beyond, which we know are immersed in an app-centric world. Then we come to what value. We know that there's a lot more value in mobile access versus that of physical credentials. To name just a few, if we look at over-the-air provisioning of mobile credentials, that is exceptionally convenient. When a new employee is going to start at a company, on their mobile, they can already have their mobile credential provisioned for the first day of arriving at the office. We also know that we don't forget our cell phones at home. We will forget a card, but for a cell phone, we'll turn around, go back home and fetch it. Nobody leaves their cell phone at home today. From an efficiency point, there's a definite reduction in costs versus that of card issuance. There's no printer hardware and consumables required. This really supports the client's digital transformation and smart experience initiatives. From a security perspective, we must note that CRC is used to protect the credential and communication with the reader. Over and above that, credentials are protected on the user's mobile because of their biometric and passcodes to log on. Then again, when someone loses a mobile phone, they typically report it immediately and the phone is blocked. So if we then look at the use cases, you can go to the next slide. If we then look at the use cases in an organization for mobile access, there are numerous use cases, and HID has various readers and devices which are used to read the mobile credentials, which then supports the client's security policies from both a physical and logical aspect. Mobile credentials can therefore be used, if we look at the picture, to access doors, booms, turnstiles, elevators, lockers, canteens, purchasing at canteens, vending machines, can be used for secure printing, and as well as logging onto PCs. So that gives us a real focus on the future of mobile and where all it can be used in an organization. When we look at these building blocks, so a quick view of what are the building blocks of mobile. It starts off with a client, the end user, creating an HID Origo management portal account. They then purchase a subscription of licenses. These licenses can be reused, which therefore makes it very useful when it comes to visitor management, to be used in visitor management as well. The HID Origo management portal is used to send out an invitation email to the end users to tell them where to download the application to sit on their mobile phone from their App Store or Google Play Store. It then provisions the mobile credential to the user's mobile phone. The readers that we use today to read that mobile credential are the Signo readers. Our iClass readers, there are newer versions of the iClass readers that were released over the last few years, where you can add can be sort of retrofitted with a Bluetooth module. Now, the important thing about our licenses, as I mentioned, the subscription licenses can be reused. An invitation email with an invitation code that is sent to an end user, that invitation code can never be reused. You can never copy a credential, a mobile credential, to another phone. It needs to be revoked and reissued from the pool of licenses, but licenses are reusable. The exciting thing is that Primo from version 1 has integrated into the HID Origo management portal, thus making it very easy for administrators because it's a matter of just adding another tag within Primo. So Hamish, thanks for a little introduction today. And I think what I'd like to do is hand back to you so you can show the users how it integrates.
Linda, thanks so much. Very interesting. Much to my frustration, my wife does sometimes forget to take her cell phone with her, but she's definitely the exception and not the rule, you know. So
That's excellent.
So we've got a little video which actually shows that Primo integration that you just spoke about, and I'm going to play it through here.
Okay, great.
The customer has to register an account in HID Origo Management Portal. The next step is to add your organization account details on the HID Mobile Access System account in Primo. Navigate to Configuration, System Accounts, and select the HID Mobile Access System account. Enter your organization ID, user ID, password, and click on Enabled. To select the part number assigned to your organization, click on the Query button, and it will show you how many credentials are available. The next step is to enroll the mobile access credential for a credential holder. Navigate to Enrollments and search for the credential holder. To add the mobile credential, click on the Credentials tab and enroll. Enter the credential holder's email address. The email address must be entered correctly. An automated email will now be sent to the email address below. The email will contain a link to download the HID Mobile Access application, as well as the invitation code to activate your credential. Click on Confirm. The system automatically connects to the HID portal and allocates the credential to the credential holder's profile. This is the email received from HID Origo with steps on how to download the HID Mobile Access app, as well as the invitation code that will be entered in the HID Mobile Access app. When the mobile credential is downloaded to the mobile phone, it is ready to be used.
So Primo was also launched version 1.0 with a tight integration with the IDEMIA biometric products. And Telisile is going to join us from IDEMIA, and she's the Regional Sales Manager for Africa, and she will be speaking to us on the IDEMIA range of products. Welcome, Telisile, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Hamish. So as Hamish mentioned, so my name is Telisile Moya, and I am the Regional Sales Manager for the OEMs and Logical Access Control from IDEMIA. So over the past few years, contactless technologies have been taking up more and more space in the biometric landscape, and facial recognition technologies have been benefiting from this trend. Today, I will show you the latest addition from IDEMIA, which is fully integrated with Impro's software portfolio, which is the Vision Pass SP. So the Vision Pass SP is the ultimate face recognition device for access control. So it has a slick and compact design, easy to deploy, super fast, hands-free device with 2D remote capture abilities. It actually comes with the latest AI powered design with NPU. So, and it also complies to local and international standards, which makes it excellent for anti-spoofing, excellent for security, and for the end-to-end um, end-to-end solutions that you have. So, so this is the time to actually future-proof your client with the IDEMIA technology. So just a bit of technical information on the Vision Pass SP. So the Vision Pass SP, as previously mentioned, has an eco design to minimize carbon footprint, meaning that you will save up to 75% of power consumption. In order to power this device, you will need a PoE plus switch, which actually supports 12 to 24 volts. It is IP65 and IK07. It has got two cameras, one at the front, one at the back, creating 3D stereo vision, and one IR sensor for best capture performance. So the eco design and the Doppler radar make it awesome for super fast activation. You can use this device for multi-factor enrollments as well, because you can use either a card, a QR code, or a PIN. And it is backward compatible with the Vision Pass acquisitions. Last but not least, the certification has been added for the Vision Pass SP, so you better get certified today. And I come with more good news. So for the month of May, if you purchase 10 Vision Pass SPs, we will throw in an additional two devices as well, only for the month of May, as previously mentioned. So thank you so much, Hamish. And just to give back to you, as you will show the video of the integration with Primo and the Vision Pass SP. Thanks, Hamish.
Many thanks, Felicity. So as you said, I do have that video. No surprise there. Another video that shows the installation and configuration of the biometric devices, the IDEMIA biometric devices in Primo. So without any further, let's play that.
Now we'll be taking a look how IDEMIA biometric readers are integrated into Primo. We will also be installing one reader. The first step is to ensure that your IDEMIA reader has an assigned IP address. This can be a static address or a DHCP provided address. To start installing a reader, we will go to the hardware menu. Under the hardware menu, we will then go and select the biometrics tab. Under biometrics, we can then add new or install our reader. Once we click on add to install, we will be asked which brand of device we are scanning or installing. In this case, we will be selecting IDEMIA. We will then click next. We're presented for different methods to scan the network. We can scan a subnet, click on advanced scan, and also add a range or a specific IP. In this case, we already know the IP for this device, so we'll be selecting the specific IP option. We will then Type in the IP for this device and click Scan. Once the scan is complete, our reader will be presented. We can select our reader to install. Note, should you have multiple readers, they will all be listed here if they are scanned. You can then select the readers you wish to install and click on Next. You're then presented with a summary screen with your reader and serial numbers. You can then click on Install to finalize the installation. Once your reader has been installed, your reader may be unlicensed. To obtain a license, you can export the license details with the license button above. Once you click Export License, it will save a file that you'll need to provide to your distributor to provide you with the device unlock or license. Once you've received that file back from your distributor, you can then select Import. This will unlock your device. You can always see your device status either changing icons next to your device name. Note that there is also a legend so that you can see what the current status is. Right now, the reader is rebooting once it's been uploading its first settings. You'll note that it will change from online, green, or offline red. You'll also see with large uploads that it's busy uploading, and you can easily see which readers are not licensed. Another important note is that we've also added more settings for these readers under the presets. If we select presets and go to the biometric presets, note that there is a default IDEMIA preset available. Here, we can change various settings for the reader. We can change the CSN length, we can change the Wigan output, threat level, add other advanced settings, notes if you wish. That is how you would set up your IDEMIA reader within Primo. Thank you very much.
So the video shows you that discovery, installation, configuration, and licensing is all done from within the hardware section of Primo. It's easier than ever before to work with IDEMIA devices in Impro access control systems.
Now,
an exciting new development is that Artico have recently integrated their video management solution with Primo. Dean is the Managing Director of Artico Global Africa, and he will be sharing some information about this integration. Welcome, Dean, and over to you.
Morning, Hamish. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. So yeah, it's correctly stated. I'm the Managing Director for Artico Global Africa, and I'd just like to take the opportunity to have a chat about what we've done with Primo. So I'd like to start off by saying that the integration with Primo and working with the team has really been easy. It's an integration that in the past would have taken probably months to complete, and now with the help that we received from the team, and obviously with the new development tools that's available to us and to them, the integration was done in a matter of weeks. So it's been really refreshing to work with that. So just a very very briefly on Artico. I'm not going to read the whole list of words that are there, but we are a global company. We've been in the vision technology for the past 30 years, and we in essence are a video management platform, but we've kind of like moved over the last number of years into almost like a collector of information. So we'll be able to receive events and from many different systems, which we'll touch on a moment. So Hamish, I'm going to ask you just to go to the next slide. Great, thank you. So what we've done is we've broken Artico up into two offerings, or separate the two offerings. The first being Omnia. It's our traditional on-premise video management solution, which is based on a perpetual model, pricing model, and then now the Artico UC, which is our video security as a service, a subscription-based offering. Now we've made a decision to not do the integration with Primo with Omnia. The integration is only available through or using UC. Sorry, Hamish, next slide. Okay, so speaking about the different types of technology or partners or that we receive information from, it can be, of course, access control from intrusion systems, analytics, ours or third party, electric fencing, fire systems, license plate recognition, ANPR, video, and IoT. This is only a few of those type of integrations that we've done. So think of us as being able to receive all this information into one platform. Hamish, if you can just go to the next slide. All right. So what are we able to do with our integration with Primo? So we can receive exception events. So the emergency notifications were discussed earlier on. So I think of that as being an exception. That exception can be sent to the operator. It can be then allocate or linked to a particular camera. So if you take a look at that snapshot, it's there. It's just a very brief image of that. So the bottom image would be that of the actual video, the live video that's taken place. Actually, well, the live video that's streaming through. The top image would be that of the snapshot of the actual person or the event notification that's come through. On the corner of the bottom, you'll actually see the person's name attached to it, as well as an image of them. On the left-hand side is all the information that is going to come with that transaction. So in this case, we know which server it's connected to, the description of the event. In this case, it's an allowed normal out event, and with all the other necessary information of that particular person. Now, of course, this can be added or removed as necessary. So that also allows us to be able to search for that information. So if I'm, for example, looking for Hamish, which happens to be wearing a red shirt, and I can look for him amongst certain doors, all doors, or I can look for even events of exception events of maybe a duress event that's come through. So we can actually go and do that search and find that in the video management platform being UC, and of course we will have a live and recorded video linked to that as well. Obviously we can allocate this onto 2D maps or onto 3D maps as well. We also be able to export these events. We've also got our own reporting module that's attached to it, where we can then, of course, export those events for post-event analysis as well. Okay, almost there. Next slide. So this is basically what the main interface would look like. It's again very you can adapt it to your own needs. You can obviously see the tree on the left-hand side with all the particular servers, the particular cameras. The middle screen is obviously the live videos that are live streams of cameras that are coming through, and on the right-hand side is the events that's come through. So I've just searched for Impro. So anything that has got that in the event where the text is Impro, we'll be able to pick that up and associate it with that. So if you take a look at the very first one there, it says Impro. It says there's a default zone door 2, allowed normal out. So we can even search, will find me all the normal events for door 2, and that will then instantaneously be able to reduce that that search. Just the next slide. So in the same way as what we can represent the live video and events on our layout, we can also then allocate these devices and these events onto a geolocated map as well. So yeah, I don't want to spend much more time on going on regarding the integration, but I must end off by saying that we've just kind of like really touched in terms of our integration with Impro right now, with the Primo at least, and these further integrations that we are doing over the next period of time, and we're really looking forward to working with the team. So thanks for your time. Thank you very much.
Many thanks, Dean. So I hadn't actually seen your integration, so this is new information for me too, and very interesting. So that concludes the presentations that we have for you this morning. But before we get into Q&A, I see we're almost out of time, but we'll try and do some Q&A. I just wanted to quickly talk to you about training. So our training team have been hard at work at Impro, adding the Primo content to the well-established training courses that we currently have available. And I just want to emphasize the importance of training. You know, it's so important for your technicians to receive training. It ensures that they have the right skills and knowledge to perform their job effectively and safely. It helps them to stay up to date on the latest trends and technologies and tools and techniques. And then, you know, it ultimately leads to better performance and higher quality work. So Impro offers accredited training, and this certification offers benefits, you know, because there's validation of the skills and knowledge that have been acquired. Additionally, it helps the organization as a whole to stay competitive, you know, staying abreast of industry trends and technologies and best practices, and it also reduces errors and increases efficiency. And it also opens up business opportunities, you know, because some end users will require accredited staff to be allowed to install and configure on their site. So we've got 3 training courses available. There's the level 1 training, which is a hardware installation and optimum cabling course, and that is covered in 1 day. And then we've got level 2, which is focused on software configuration, sort of a basic level, and that runs over 2.5 days. And then lastly, we've got level 3 training, which is focused primarily on third-party product integrations, and that lasts for 2 days. And then something new, we've decided to include e-learning as part of our training offering. E-learning has benefits because it allows people or learners to progress through the material at their own pace, so they can focus more heavily on areas that are difficult and move through the simple ones or the ones they're more familiar with quickly. We've actually included interactive elements into our e-learning program. These include things like quizzes, multimedia presentations, simulations, that kind of thing. And we found that it enhances the engagement of the person learning and also their knowledge retention. And then you could, you know, the benefit of e-learning is once you've attended the course, you can revisit those training materials to brush up on an area that you maybe need some refresh on, and just keep your skills up to date. And then I think that for us, we think that e-learning, as well as the face-to-face training that we do, it's a combination of them that will work best, you know, so you get the best of both worlds. So to become an accredited installer or to learn more about Primo, you can visit our website, or you can email us at training@impro.net. All right, so now we've got some Q&A, and I'm just going to look at some questions that have been posed. I'm going to try and keep it as brief as possible because we have run out of time. Okay, so will integrations done on Access Portal also work in Primo, or will the integration have to be rewritten? Okay, so the Primo API is identical to the API used for portal integrations. So in theory, if you've done an integration on Access Portal, it should work fine on Primo. We've obviously advised all integration partners to test their integrations with Primo. Okay. Does Primo support the APC master mode for the ITRT2? So yes, it supports both the DC modes and the APC mode of the new ITRT2 controller. Those are both supported in Primo. Which third-party products are supported on Primo version 1.2? Okay, so just briefly to go through them, it's the IDEMIA fingerprint range, the Vision Pass range of facial readers, and then and also the Wave reader range. Those are all supported. And then we've also got Control ID biometric readers, and that supports the facial readers. And then, of course, we've got the HID mobile, which we demonstrated today and which Linda spoke about earlier. Okay, all right. Should I be installing IXP 220 or Primo? So I think maybe a good way to look at it is for all systems below 100 doors, we recommend Primo. For greenfield sites, for new systems, you definitely should be installing Primo over IXP 220. And then, in the near future, we're going to be offering an upgrade path for legacy IXP systems so that they can migrate to Primo and get its benefits. Okay, the next question is, does Primo support legacy hardware, first and second gen hardware? So the ITRT and RTT, those are both supported in Primo, so not just the ITRT2, but their predecessor, along with the cluster controller and all the cluster modules and any readers and hardware that can connect to those. So there are some very old hardware products that discontinued years ago that aren't supported in Primo, but certainly the first and second gen hardware, most of them are supported. Okay, will Primo be available as a cloud solution? So this is actually currently in development. We are actually hoping to target a release in later this year, in the latter half of the year. Okay. How quickly does enrollment data update to the system? I'd say it happens automatically, and it happens within seconds. It gets through to the system. Does Primo support smart template distribution? So yes, so Primo knows which templates need to go to which doors because of the access group configuration. So it uses that information to push only the templates that need to go to respective readers to each of those readers. So it doesn't send all the templates to all of the readers. Okay. Does Primo support operator security for people making changes in the Primo software? So yes, there are various operator profiles that you can use in Primo, and that ensures that the operators have access to the information that they need and to the configuration that they need to have access to. And it also, these profiles also limit the information and configuration that is not required for those users. Can Primo run as a centralized solution? Yes, so Primo currently works on a server with web interface client. So Primo runs as a central service, and then you can have browser-based web clients providing access to the system across wide area networks. And then in addition, you can also have in the Primo server on one site, and then you could support multiple sites. So you can have the server centrally located, and then you can have the controllers installed at remote sites and have those connected back to the server over a wide area network. Does Primo support Windows 11? We have run Primo on Windows 11. We've run it many times on Windows 11, no problems. Okay, that's that's the list of questions I've been given. Is that right, guys? Is that right, team?
That's correct. Thank you very much, Hamish, for handling the Q&A session.
Okay. Okay, excellent.
And with that, we have come to the end of our webinar. Would like to thank everyone for joining us. I'd also like to take this opportunity to thank my colleagues from Impro, HRD Global, Linda, Team IDEMIA, Kelisile and Vota, Atiko Global, Dean, and of course, Impro Technologies, Fraser. We thank you for your insights. We thank you for your expertise in your respective fields. And of course, we'd like to thank the customers for joining us today. We thank you for your continuous support. We are looking forward to hearing from you regarding this webinar. We can't wait to interact with you more on other platforms. If you've got any questions, please feel free to join us. Please feel free to email us at info@impro.net. I do see a hand up from Fraser. Fraser, would you like to add something?
No, sorry, it's mistake.
All right. For now, it's goodbye. We ask you to please stay safe. We'll see you on the next webinar. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Oh, there's one question from Charles. Charles, you have your hand up? Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers and take care.
Thank you.